structured notes portfolios.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to our November meeting of the School Family Council. We got a short one today with just a few quick announcements that we're going to be sharing momentarily. My name is George Bunton. I'm the Community School Coordinator here at the historic Cherry Hill. Want to take some time to wish a happy birthday to two of our administrators who share birthday, and that is today. Principal Guzman and Assistant Principal Scroggins both have birthdays today. So when you see them, make sure to wish them a happy birthday. If you want to send something on our Class Dojo or Facebook page, I'm sure they'll appreciate it. Or if you happen to see them this week or next before we go on break, just shoot them a happy belated birthday. We are going to get started in just a few minutes. We do have some quick updates. But again, this is going to be a fairly quick meeting. We do have a special guest here from Elevate Baltimore, Mr. Thomas Dawson. He's going to talk to us a little bit about the recently launched adult high school here in Cherry Hill. And we have Ms. Becker from the Student Wellness Team. A lot of you were able, actually, you know what, we played the video, but we had some sound issues. So I think what I'm going to do is I'll replay the video today. And now I know why we had the sound issues. I got to do an extra step so we can get around that. So they are here today, and I'm going to give them an opportunity to say hi in just a moment. Let's pull that share down. So that's Mr. Dawson and Ms. Becker, our school social worker. Please feel free to, if you're watching either on our brand new YouTube channel, please, I am monitoring the chat. So if you have any questions at all, please feel free to drop those in the chat and I can ask them directly or try to answer them directly as best I can. So what I'm going to do now is, give me 1 second, and see if I can get this queued up. And while we wait, I'll just make a quick announcement. We did get our Thanksgiving baskets in. We have turkeys, and we have some other holiday food items that are available for families. We put out a sign-up sheet, had families sign up. We do have a limited number of extras. So if you find yourself in need or somehow missed the communications that had gone out to sign up for a holiday basket.
Greetings, Cherry Hill Elementary Middle School family.
I'd like to give you all an opportunity to contact. You can contact me. My information, I believe, is up on the screen, but my cell phone is 667-256-5004. Just keep in mind, please, that we do have a limited number of extras, but I will try to fill those in as we need them. All right. So we're going to start with a message from our principal, Mr. Guzman, who was not able to be with us today. He's celebrating his birthday. And some other things going on in the family right now. He will be with us in January. But the big thing this month is student-led conferences. Student-led conferences are on the way. November 29th, November 30th, and December 1st. All three of those days, I believe, are half days in order to accommodate the student-led conferences. And we're going to hear a little word from our principal about the student-led conference. So as long I've been at Cherry Hill, this is the first time that we have done a student-led conference. So this will be my first real experience seeing them go down. But I know that our educators and our students have been working really, really hard on this. And it's just a different way. Parent-teacher conferences are kind of becoming a thing of the past. Student-led conferences are just what they sound like. The student will present and lead that work. So give me one moment here, and I'm going to share this again. And we're going to go ahead and check out our video from Mr. Guzman.
Greetings, Cherry Hill Elementary Middle School family. This is Mr. Guzman, your principal, with a friendly reminder. In the past, we've had parent-teacher conferences, but for the first time, we're introducing student-led conferences where your scholars will be able to share what grade level they're performing on, how they are progressing, and what their goals are for the end of the year. We have student-led conferences 3 times a year, and this is a great opportunity for families and teachers to sit and observe our scholars take leadership roles and stand and deliver around where they are and where they plan on going for this school year. Please mark your calendar for these important dates. Student-led conferences will be held on November 29th and November 30th from 3:30 to 6:30 p.m. and on December 1st from 12:30 to 3:30 p.m. Your teachers should be reaching out to you to set up these appointments, but if you have not heard from them, please reach out to us and set up your student-led conference. We're looking for every scholar to have the opportunity to stand and discuss where they are and where their goals are for the end of the year. Thank you. Have a great upcoming holiday, and we look forward to seeing you on the student-led conferences on November 29th, November 30th, and December 1st. Learn today, lead tomorrow.
right, so that's what it's all about, the student-led conferences. If you have any questions, feel free to contact myself. You can dial our main phone number at 410-396-1392. And just because, moving on, so now we're going to give our spotlight to Mr. Matt Cobb from Purpose Built Communities. He's the Education Program Manager for the Cherry Hill community. He works very closely with the historic Cherry Hill Elementary, Middle School, and Arundel. So I am going to, let's see, replace him with the spotlight, and Mr. Cobb.
Thank you, Mr. Button. I appreciate it. Good evening, everyone. Thank you for giving me some time this evening to check in with you all. So like Mr. Button said, my name is Matt Cobb, Cherry Hill Education Program Manager. And like Mr. Button described, I basically serve at the intersection of the school district and the schools and all of the partners involved alongside community to bring forth this prenatal through career pipeline that hopefully many folks know is part of the larger neighborhood transformation underway, kind of overseen and convened by Cherry Hill Strong. That said, I am here with an update about our high school in the neighborhood, New Era Academy. Some folks might know, because it was announced publicly last week, that the school district has proposed to the Board of Commissioners to close New Era Academy at the end of this school year. The main reasons that it has been suggested to close is that the building requires a significant amount of physical repairs. And because the enrollment of the school doesn't meet a particular threshold, the district isn't able to get funding to support those repairs. And so at the board meeting last Tuesday, it was announced, along with many other recommendations as part of the school portfolio, that New Era Academy close at the end of this school year. Now, Baltimore City Schools, through the partnership that I just described with the Cherry Hill community, building out that prenatal through career pipeline, came to us last year to share this possibility, which at the time it was just a possibility. And it gave us an opportunity to gather community members led by Ms. Peggy Jackson-Jobe as a part of our Cherry Hill Strong Education Steering Committee to basically envision a new high school in Cherry Hill and what that could look like. That vision became a proposal for the Elijah Cummings Empowerment High School, and that was also previewed at the board meeting last week. As it stands today, there are two major concerns that we're working with community to address and strategize solutions around to come to the district with solutions. The first thing that we're focused on is making sure that we're supporting the roughly 80 or so students who are currently at New Era Academy, who are residents of Cherry Hill, to ensure that they have a really smooth transition to high quality programming at whatever high school they end up when New Era closes, if New Era closes. We also want to hear from the school district about how they plan to continue programs like P-TECH and Trans-Tech and JROTC, not only during a school closure, but hopefully an eventual return to Cherry Hill with an eventual new high school in Cherry Hill, and kind of what's the plan for that. And then the other big focus is making sure that we are supporting our current 8th graders and getting them not only prepared for to transition to, but also while they're in high school next year, away from community likely, making sure that there is still a strong connection back to Cherry Hill and giving those students the support that they need. And then lastly, the community wants to know how we're working to get the best for our students to envision this prenatal through career pipeline and how it comes to be. And this is where that vision for the Elijah Cummings Empowerment High School comes into play. And right now that exists as a formal white paper that the committee wrote. It exists as a video trailer that really captures community voice. And that's going to be rolled out once this first issue is addressed about what are we doing with our current students at New Era, the programs there, and our middle schoolers who are about to transition to high school. So that's the update right now. If folks are interested in learning more or becoming a more in-depth member of the conversation, I encourage folks to reach out. My email address, and I'll just say it slowly, is MACOBB at, and then the Baltimore City Schools extension, BCPS K-12 MDUS. Hopefully you know that. So Mr. Button, I don't know if there are questions for me in the comments on the live stream that I can answer, but that was the update that I wanted to share to this group. And you'll also hear this a bunch more times, and I will be back in the coming months to share updates as this goes.
All right, thank you, Matt. There are no questions at this time. However, I did post your name and email address into the chat.
Thank you.
So that people would have that as they watch it later. I know that a lot of people will be able to repost this in a few different places. So anyone who's not here now has an opportunity to watch later on today.
Cool.
The issues with the high school, has that been finalized? And if people want to get involved, when is the next opportunity to have their voice heard or to be able to address any issues that they may have around?
Great question, or questions, I should say. So first of all, nothing is final yet. The board votes on the final decision in January. There is a legal process that has to take place, which, sorry, I just got blurry, which started with the board meeting last week and will conclude with the vote in January. In that time frame, there has to be a certain number of community meetings that take place, the first of which happened last Thursday at New Era Academy that some folks might have attended. And then we are waiting to hear from the district when those other community meetings are. There are also two other ways to express opinions about this in a public forum. The first is on December 2nd at 7:30 p.m. at the board's, basically they call it a board forum, where they're digging into the details of a couple of schools, including New Era. And so that's on the 2nd of December at 7:30. Folks who might be interested in sharing an opinion publicly at that meeting should reach out to me because there's a process that we can help you with. And then the second opportunity is December 15th, and that's at 6:30 p.m. And that is what they call a special board working session for public testimony. And in both of these opportunities, members of the public have up to 5 minutes to share a video, to read a public statement, to have an email read that they shared, to express their opinions on the closing or proposed closing of the school. So short story is there are many more opportunities to not only get involved with what the Cherry Hill community is doing about this, but also how to express folks' opinion to the school district. And so again, I know I just went through a lot of dates and times that I don't expect people to be jotting down. So if you reach out to me with the contact information Mr. Button shared, we can get you looped into those conversations. And we would love more members of the community, parents and families. I know there are many families at the historic Cherry Hill Elementary Middle who have other children at New Era. And so we really want to get families involved in the conversations as they move forward.
All right, thank you so much, Mr. Cobb. Appreciate you coming in and sharing that with us. And we'll see you next month.
All right, thank you, sir.
And your email address is in our comments, so if you want to reach out to him around public comment or just to find out what's going on in education from the overall kind of overarching education plan and happenings in Cherry Hill, feel free to reach out to him. He's a friendly guy, so I'm pretty sure you guys will enjoy having a conversation with him. So now I'm going to give the floor to our very own Ms. Becker, who is our school social worker, works tirelessly on behalf of our students, and has created, implemented, and is chairing our student wellness committee. So I'm going to give Ms. Becker the floor to come in and talk a little bit about student wellness and tell us what it means, the work that the student wellness team has been doing, any upcoming updates or plans, and how you can get connected to us if you need to.
Okay. As you are very well aware of, the pandemic has really put a lot of stress on our scholars and on our parents and our families. Being virtual last year was difficult, so a lot of our scholars are a little bit behind in their work, which puts a lot of pressure on them. And just all that has happened with the pandemic has put a lot of pressure. So we have a lot of really stressed out scholars. So the Student Wellness Committee, our job is to really try to give scholars the coping skills and what they need, and just the listening ear a lot of times, so that we can provide them with what they need in order to become calmer, to not feel so stressed out, because if they're stressed out, it's really difficult to learn. And so we're really trying to provide all that we can in order to help them to learn to cope better, to provide the skills that they need in order to deal with daily stressors that everyone has and everyone is going to have, you know, throughout the ages. And we're really coming together to sort of stand alongside our scholars.
Sorry, I did not mean to do that.
So we're comprised of, I'm the school social worker, we have the school psychologist, we have the school-based mental health therapist, we have Mr. Bunton, our community coordinator, we have the wholeness specialist, I have a social work intern that's really wonderful this year. We have our speech therapist, speech and language therapist, who is fantastic too. And so we're all coming together and really talking about the challenges that our scholars are having so that we can help them out. And we also encourage any parents, if you want to join us, we meet every Monday from 2:30 to 3:30 here in the community room. And we would love to have a parent perspective in all this and coming up with solutions in how to sort of reduce the stress and help with coping skills for our scholars.
Okay. If there are no any questions, please, anyone watching, you can post your questions and your comments in the YouTube chat. We are monitoring them as the meeting goes on. One of the things that we had to do in order to kind of like introduce the student wellness support team was we had to create a cool little video, which took a lot of work. We're very proud of it, though. At least I am. I think Ms. Becker would say that she is proud of it as well.
Mr. Button did all of this. He is.
No.
Yes, he did. He did a great job.
It was a team effort. But this really just gives you just an idea of like who we are as the student wellness team. And hopefully for those of you who view this video, you know, when you see us at least, even if you don't know us by name, you know that that's someone I can talk to if my child is going through something and they need some extra support, some extra help. So enjoy. All right, so that is our historic Cherry Hill Elementary Middle School support team, student wellness support team. And I'm going to go down here real quick, and you can absolutely reach out to us if you need to get in contact with any of these folks. Of course, the wonderful Ms. Becker, our school social worker, our school-based therapist, Ms. Heather Branniger, our SEL learning specialist, Ms. Regina Verrain, and in the time that we were doing this, we actually got an additional social emotional learning specialist. So as many of you know, we have a population of 680 students. So one was just deemed not to be enough. So Mr. Wheeler is also he's not featured here, but he is a gentleman who is really great with our kids. He works in partnership with Ms. Lorraine as our social and emotional learning specialist. Myself, the community school coordinator here, most of y'all already probably know me because I'm loud. And our school psychologist, Ms. Leah Hubbard, our wonderful school guidance counselor, Ms. Kim Jones. She's responsible for making sure that our students transition as smoothly as possible into the next stage of their academic career. Ms. Becker's intern is Mr. Terry Bagley this year. He's been awesome working with students and family members and really learning the ins and outs of the social worker role. So say hello to him when you see him. And our speech language pathologist, Ms. Shalita Jones, who works with our students who need those additional supports around communication and speech. There are other folks that are not featured here that also work in support roles, but just because of either their caseload or their other commitments on other committees were not able to join the student wellness team. So this is the actual team of student wellness support folks, but we actually have quite a few additional support staff who are here on behalf of parents and students who need those additional supports that you can absolutely be connected with when you need it. So thank you, Ms. Becker. And let's see. Would you like to give everyone your email address just in case they need to?
I'll give them my phone number.
Okay.
That's the easiest way, because sometimes I don't look at, I'll give them both. My phone number, and it's a Google phone number, so you have to give your name, but I'm really good about answering and returning calls.
Hold on 1 second.
And it is 443-842-4115.
Can you repeat that one more time?
Sure, it's 443-842, wait, let me remember. 443-842-4115. And then my email is clbecker, BECKER, at that whole K-12.
bcts.k12.md.us. All right. Thank you so much, Ms. Becker. And moving right along, we have Mr. Dawson from Elevate Baltimore, who is going to talk to us a little bit about our adult high school. So the adult high school is a pretty new initiative here in South Baltimore, and it is the South Baltimore Adult High School. It is located at 844 Roundview Road, so just off next door to the school. So this is a great opportunity for parents, and I'm going to give it over to Mr. Dawson, who can speak to us a little bit in depth about what the program offers and how you can get connected. Mr. Dawson.
Hi, so, Mr. Bunton's totally correct, this is very new, it's actually the first adult high school in the state of Maryland, and it is one of the 4 ways to earn a high school diploma now. Originally, you had to pass, graduate from 12th grade from your high school, and then you also have the opportunity to pass all 4 sections of the GED test and be awarded a Maryland State diploma. There's another program called the External Diploma Program where you complete and also earn a Maryland State High School diploma. But there was a void for people who went to high school, life got in the way, and they've lost all the work they've done. So this is the opportunity to say if you left in 11th grade to pick up where you left off. You get credit for all the classes you had taken previously. And that way you don't lose all that time, it doesn't feel like a total waste. And we're very flexible as far as scheduling classes. Classes can be in person, they can be online. There are evening classes currently. Next, we're adding Saturday, probably by the end of the calendar year. And then by spring, we should have morning classes also, if not earlier, as we keep growing. So classes are online, in person, you can do both. Some people say they can come on Wednesday, but they can't come Tuesday or Thursday because they're working, that's okay. You can do it completely asynchronously, which means you don't have to meet at class at all, ever. You just would meet with your tutor or your teacher outside of class in order to do your work. The platform that we use to earn your credits is called Apex, which also Baltimore City uses for credit recovery and for actual credit accumulation. You have support from teachers, paid tutors, volunteer tutors, peer tutors, available at most times you could possibly want help. Morning, midday, evening, Saturday. And it's hard for me to describe exactly how it works for each person because it's so tailored to each person's needs. So if there's any obstacles that have stopped you in the past from trying to finish your high school diploma, or your friend or a family member, I'm not, just many of you don't actually need the service I'm talking about, but I think almost everyone knows someone who could use it. And we're also a statewide program. So though we're based in Cherry Hill, we are allowed to take students from all over the state. So if you have friends in wherever in Maryland, you only have to be 21 and a Maryland State resident. Currently, we have a student in Frederick, 2 in Charles County, 1 in Baltimore County off of 83, and 1 on the Eastern Shore. And they can attend their classes virtually. And we also have 1 person who works nights, so she's doing everything asynchronously at the moment. So we can tailor the program for you. If it's transportation that's the problem, if it's technology that's the problem. George, can you scroll up to the other page?
Sure.
Sorry.
First page?
Yeah. So you'll see how we support our students. We can help with childcare because a lot of people cannot attend school because they have childcare issues. If you need any kind of assistance finding mental health support, finding a job, you have housing, not unstable housing, we have other kinds of crisis interventions, we have ways to get you cash expenses paid for like for outstanding household bills, and we can also find you job training, and we also have career development that will be available, and also workshops such as financial literacy and basic computer use. So it's very comprehensive, and you won't be left alone, and you would be helped all the way through. And there's also a dedicated success coach that his job is to make sure you succeed, meeting with you, making short-term goals, making long-term goals, making sure you're able to meet those goals, and if you can't meet those goals, then how things need to be adjusted. And that's about it. If you have questions or want to get more information, the way you actually enroll is to do an intake process, which involves taking it's not quite a placement test, but it's an assessment. It's not pass-fail. Its purpose is to see where you are, so we know where we need to help you. You might be good at algebra, but have a problem with fractions, so we would know we need to work on the fractions while you're doing your high school algebra class. And things of that like.
Okay. And how can those who are interested, how can they reach out to get more information?
So you can email myself.
Okay.
Or Imhotep Fatou. He is the success coordinator, success coach for the adult high school.
Okay. And your email address?
T. Dawson at Elevate Baltimore. And then, do you want Imhotep?
Yeah, sure. Yes.
I-FATIU at Elevate.
Right. I put both email addresses in the comments for your reference. Please remember that when you're typing out the email addresses, that is Elevate Baltimore, it's ELEV, and then the number 8, which spells Elevate, Baltimore.org. Thank you so much, Mr. Dawson. I'm not seeing any questions in the chat currently, but if anyone has any questions, they have your contact information and they can follow up with you.
Perfect.
You can also come by. We have flyers that are in our waiting room, so if you're ever at the school and you want to come, this nifty little flyer here is actually in the waiting area, along with our student wellness support team flyer. So grab those, stick them on your refrigerator. One of the things that I am in total agreement with Mr. Dawson is he said that you may not need this, but 9 times out of 10, we all know someone who could benefit from this. This is an opportunity to get that degree. And I know that in this day and age, that can literally be something that can hold you back. It can limit what jobs you have available to you simply by having that piece of paper. So this is a very flexible, very equitable way to get that done. You get to pick up right where you left off, so you don't have to feel like you're going back through the whole 4 years of high school. You pick up where you left off, you work at your own pace, and then you have resources available to you to continue moving forward from that point.
I did forget to mention that all the services are free of cost.
Oh, and they're all free. So eligibility, adults all across Maryland, you have to be over the age of 21?
Yes.
All right. So that's it, and all services are free. So thank you again, Mr. Dawson. His email address is in the chat. Be sure to reach out to him or stop by our community wing here at the school, have a cup of coffee, cup of tea, and grab a couple of those flyers that you can keep on hand for friends, family, associates, anyone you might come across who might be able to make good of this opportunity. All right. So that's pretty much it. I do have a couple of quick updates. Please stay on the lookout. If you have not joined Class Dojo yet, I urge you to please check Class Dojo or join Class Dojo. You can reach out to me directly. All I need is the student's name in order to, and then your cell phone number in order to send you an invite to Class Dojo. It is the major form of communication it's the major form of communication for our school. A lot of great information about what's going on at the school, what is upcoming, exists, lives in Class Dojo. It gives you a way that is completely separate of your phone number. Once you create an account, you can use it from your computer. You can use it from any phone that is connected to Wi-Fi. They have apps for both the Apple and Android devices. And if your number changes, it doesn't matter. As long as you have an internet connection, you can still log back into your account. Gives you direct access to your child's homeroom teacher and their other teachers if they are in the grade that move through several teachers, I want to strongly urge everyone to get connected to Class Dojo as quickly as you can. If you have not signed up yet for our student-led conferences, it is really, really important, and it's very, very impactful that you do so. Student-led conferences will be held on November 29th, November 30th, and December 1st. So you have 3 opportunities to select from. So please reach out to your child's classroom teacher. You can also find a link on our Class Dojo where you can reserve your spot today. I urge you to do that. The student-led conferences are something that are very empowering for our students, but it's only going to be as empowering as our parents are there to witness and support them through that process. So if you have not signed up for a student-led conference yet, please do so as soon as you can. Our school food pantry began this past Tuesday and will continue every 3rd Tuesday of the month. We will be in the gym, and that is where we will be distributing food from. If you are connected on, if you are not connected on Class Dojo and you're watching this, you're about to get connected to Class Dojo. So we're not going to talk about that, but I need you to keep an eye out on Class Dojo over the next tomorrow and possibly Monday, as we are considering opening up the food pantry one last time just before the run-up to the holiday. If you are in need of a turkey basket, turkey and some food for Thanksgiving, you can reach out to me. My cell phone number is 667-256-5004. I do have a few on hand. Resources are limited, so please reach out to me as soon as you can, either by phone or by text. Thank you so much for coming. We have we have a special guest here today. So we have Zevelle Nottingham Lemon, who is here today as well from the most recently created Cherry Hill Strong organization. And Z, thank you for coming by. I do want to acknowledge your presence and give you a moment to say a few words if you'd like to. It's totally up to you. If you have any announcements or anything for us. If you're not familiar with Cherry Hill Strong at this time, I think it's, and you live in Cherry Hill, you should reach out to them via their website. I can post something on Class Dojo with all of their information. Cherry Hill Strong is working in conjunction, it's called what's called a quarterback agency that is really supporting the work and the changes that have been fought long and hard to come to fruition here in Cherry Hill. And they have been given the task of kind of overseeing and spearheading that work. So Z, as he prefers to be called, is going to need all of our support in order to make that happen. So when you can, please take a moment to get familiar with this entity and the work that they're doing in Cherry Hill. And it looks like Z might be, oh, there she is. Oh, she's here. Look, where you at? I know you're in the community. Where you at? You look like
I'm usually, listen, I was off driving home trying to get here so I could be on camera. So I just got here. Appreciate it. And I appreciate the introduction. It's really an honor to be here. I'm excited for us to build together. George did most of the setting the context for you about what we're trying to build in Cherry Hill with Cherry Hill Strong. But please reach out to me if you're interested at all. You can always email info, INFO, at cherryhillstrong.org. You can also reach out to me directly at 443-469-5378. Again, that's 443-469-5378. I'm excited to connect with folks and just have everybody know what we're really building here in Cherry Hill. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Z, for joining us. and you'll be seeing much more of her as time goes by, I am sure. Thank you so much for attending our November School Family Community Council meeting. We will be back in December, always going to be on the third Thursday of the month. So we will be back here on December the 16th at 4:30 with more updates and school news. Thank you all for coming, and you all have a great night. And yeah.